Hello, Laura here and welcome to my channel. I have a massive collection to share with you today. This is the last collection that I did while I was on hiatus from YouTube, and this is my Lace collection, and it is a collection of traveller's notebooks and sort of A5 sized journals, and then I also have the covers for traveller notebooks. So I'm going to get right into it and keep this intro as short as possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through one traveller's notebook in detail, and then I will do a quick flip through of the other three, and then I will go through one of the larger journals in detail and do the other two quicker as well. And hopefully I won't keep these here too long. So all the traveller's notebooks also come with a closure, so they can stand alone as an individual journal. All the journals come with a sort of snippet roll type closure, and they are full to the gunnels of vintage laces and linens and all that yumminess. They measure 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. And like I said, they all come with this sort of snippet roll type closure. I actually got this idea from Tracy Fox. She did it with paper, and I wanted a sort of closure that you could remove if you wanted to put it into a traveller's notebook. So this is what it looks like. So we've got some vintage lace and some appliques and beads and vintage buttons, and the larger button acts as the closure. So we've got some twine, some thread twine here, and then I've got a little pearl on the end, and then that just wraps round like so. And I've left plenty of room for you to grow, lots of room there. And every journal is very similar on the inside, but they do have a individual cover. So I've used this beautiful vintage fabric on the outside, so it's got this beautiful embroidery, and it's got sort of like a damask type image as well. And then I've layered up some different laces, some vintage laces, some modern laces, and then a beautiful applique type lace on the front as well. So this is the gold one. There are 4 traveller's notebooks, but one is spoken for already. These will be up on my Etsy store by the time this video goes live. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. In the first page we have a sort of fabric style pocket. So this is a vintage cross stitch, and I'm going to bring it up so you get a proper look of that. It is absolutely gorgeous. I got this from a tablecloth and I absolutely love it. So I've just collaged around that as the pocket, and again all the traveller's notebooks have this, and the larger books have something similar. So this is my note for the book owner. Yes, I finally added one to my books, and that's just a poem I created, and then a little notebook sized sort of traveller's journal as well. So it's got like tea-dye paper and things like that throughout it. And then we have some vintage book pages and ephemera, and then here I have included a little floating pocket, and inside I've just created little bits and bobs for you to use in your journal. I'm just going to quickly go through this. So I've got some die cuts, a little stamp, a little couple of tickets, a vintage cigarette card, a label, and that's on oh no, sorry, it's not, never mind. It's not on sticker paper. A little image here, and that's on photograph paper. A little journal card, a vintage lady, a little journaling card that I've made out of a Edith Holden page, a stamped image, a vintage coin roll, an embossed page, and then a large journal tag. And then that's just inside this floating pocket that I've collaged on top of, and then I've just backed it and stamped on it for journaling. So I'll pop all those away in a second. some vintage music paper. And then this is one of my favourite things to do in my own personal journal. And I've just torn a bit of scrapbooking paper and then added a label, and I've inked around the edge so that you can journal here, and it looks amazing once you actually journal here. It just adds a really simple effect, especially if you're not adding photos and things like that. So here I've added some stamping and some stenciling, and that flips out. This was kind of a challenge for me because I usually over embellish my books, so I wanted to leave as much journaling space in these books as possible, given the limited amount of pages. There are 92 plus pages in the Traveller's Notebooks, and they all have 5 tabs and little charms and things. So these are just some textiles that I layered up. So we've got some of that beautiful vintage fabric that's on the cover, and then some lace, and then a little dangle. And again, I've done a little collage down here, and then here we have some vintage wallpaper, and I've just tucked in a little faux vintage postcard and a little note piece for you to journal on. And I've just got that paper clipped on the edge just to hold those in place so that they don't slip out. I can get that back on. Some ledger paper. I've embossed a piece of paper here, and then I've added a double pocket. So we've got a lace pocket here, and then I've added a little journal card, a washi tape journal card, and then a little notebook of tiny little pages of different sorts. And I've just decorated the top with a little doily and a vintage button. And then here I've done a little collage, a little sort of snippet collage with a vintage button. Again, some more stamping and some stenciling. And then I've got a lace pocket here. And in here I've got a vintage playing card. And how cute is that? It's so tiny. And then I've put some beautiful fabric on a tag. And then I have a vintage postcard here. And this is blank on the back for you to journal on. So again, all the Traveller's Notebooks have the same in them, and then the larger books have the same as the Traveller's Notebooks, but they also have a little bit more because they are slightly larger. So here I've done a collage, and then I have photocopied a vintage postcard, just the written section of it, and then that flips open for you to journal on. And I've just draped that over a Edith Holden page, and I've got a little paper clip holding it in place. So all the embellishments are, well, almost all of the embellishments are removable. Sorry, that flips out as well, and I've done some edge punching. So they are pretty much removable, or they add journal space. So we've got a little pocket here, and I've just collaged with a stamp, and I've added some trim at the top here. And then this flips up, and you have some more journal paper here, just like a little notebook. And then again, all of the journals come with a little cameo, just slightly different border around it. And then here is another tab that I've just collaged different textiles onto. Some tea-dyed tracing paper for that lovely crinkle effect. And then I've got a triple pocket here. So I've done, this is a decoupage napkin, and then I've added tracing paper to the top so you can journal on this, which looks amazing. And then I've done a whip stitch around it, and then I've put lined paper on the back for more journaling. And then I've got these little Edith Holden cards tucked in here for more journaling. And then we've got some antique music paper, more stenciling and stamping, another pocket here, and I've added a embossed journal card, and then a distressed printout, and I've just added some trim along this pocket as well. And that's a vintage book page. So I've added a ruffle here with some vintage buttons at the top, some more stamping down the edge of this page to create a sort of border, a vintage book page, more stamping, another tab here, some stamping. This is the centre of the signature, and all of the journals in the centre do have a vintage envelope, and inside they have a vintage prescription. So you can journal on the back of that or use it for collaging. And they also all come with a bookmark. And they're all different, the bookmarks as well. So this one has a little pink rose style at the bottom, and then a white glass bead above it. And then over the page I have added a letter sort of tip-in page for extra journaling space. And then I've done a sort of nazi flip here, and I've got this beautiful embroidery that I got from a napkin, and I've just collaged different laces, and then that flips out for journaling, and then you can flip it back down to hide your journaling space. And then here I've got another vintage book page. I think this is the one, yeah, that's got gold on the edging. It's beautiful. So here I've got another floating pocket, and I've added a little bead dangle, well, charm dangle onto a Tim Holtz paper clip, and I've just done some collaging on this side, and then I've added a pocket on the other side with another fabric tag. And then on the inside I have another journaling card, and what I've done is sandwiched the lace under the tracing paper and then done a whip stitch around. I don't know if you can see the lace on the camera, but there is lace in there. And then journaling space on the back, and that just slips it in there, and you can obviously move this around or remove it and put it somewhere else as your little heart desires. The other side of that, antique music paper, more stenciling, tracing paper. I've done a little collage here with a wax seal, and they all have a slightly different saying. So this one says, "We don't remember days, we remember moments." And this little image here is embossed as well. And then I've got another fabric tab here with some more textiles layered up, and another, if I can get a hold of it, another charm that doesn't quite play nice. There we go, just hanging off the end of that bulb pin. And then on this Edith Holden page, I've just added a little bit of lace trim, very delicate lace. And then I've created a sort of window pocket, oh, I can't remember, cabinet card. There we go. So she does come out, and you can put your own image in there. And then I've just collaged different laces and fabrics. This is a vintage linen here. And then I've got some beautiful lace at the back, a vintage button, and then some more lace layered throughout. And then I've just stitched around it and added some journaling space at the back. And at the top here, I've added another sort of collage of laces and vintage buttons. And then I've got some stamping again. And then I've got another bead dangle here. If I can get this off. I can show you that properly. And they all have something very similar to this on it as well. So it's a little glass butterfly bead, and then a sort of oval glass bead. And then I've done some embroidery on this handmade Indian cotton paper, and they all have a different image for their journals. And then this flips open, and you've got some journaling space and a little pocket with another fabric tag, and then some paper, tea-dye paper there. And that's just held on with a little paper clip. And then here I've done an envelope, an embossed envelope. This was very much inspired by Nazi. This whole thing was very much inspired by Nazi. My friend Laurie, hi Laurie, sent me this beautiful image of journals. I think it was her immigrant journals from Pinterest, and oh, I love them. So I wanted to create something similar. And that's where the inspiration for this whole collection came from. So inside this envelope, we have another bunch of goodies. So I have just a little bit of tea-dyed sort of vintage style papers throughout. So it's all different vintage style papers. A little tag a little stamped image here, a cabinet card from Tim Holtz, another larger piece of that vintage style paper. This is an image that I copied from a vintage card, or letter rather, that I have. It's in the shape of a card, but it's a letter. And I just thought it was beautiful, but I only have one and I only recently got it, so I'm not quite ready to part with it yet, but I just loved it. So I've scanned it, and every one of the journals has this in it. So more of that vintage style paper, and then that's your envelope. And I've got a wax seal, some stamping, and this gorgeous embossed image on here. And then this flips out and I've got a beautiful big doily image here. And then on the other side of the vintage wallpaper pocket, I've put a button card with some vintage buttons, and then just a piece of ephemera in there as well. And again, just a little paper clip to keep them in place. And then here I've done a lace note card. So I've just layered some vintage lace. This is from a vintage curtain that I own. So I've layered that over the top, and some vintage buttons down here, and then some of this beautiful... Sorry, my camera cut out there. So yeah, the back of this is just for journaling, so I don't know exactly where it cut out, but I'm hoping I haven't missed anything. So I've just taken a vintage book page here and edged it to decorate this tea-dyed paper here. And then the last tab has a vintage button, and again some more textiles layered up, and that is that. So like I said, all of the travelers notebooks are very similar. So I'm going to speed up the camera and go through the other three, and then I will go through the A5 sized journals. So I'm just going to quickly show you the Traveller's Notebooks covers that I've made, because I'm going to show you what it looks like with the Traveller's Notebook inside it real quick. So these measure, sorry about that, these measure 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, and they all come with a different coloured pens. This one's like a rose gold colour, and then they've got some brown elastic and a little ribbon pen holder. And then they're all lined with lace, and they have three pockets on one side and 2 pockets on the other. So you do have 2 full pockets on either side, and then you've got 2 pockets here and then 1 pocket here, and they're all lined with this beautiful trim. Hold on, I'll bring you up a bit closer. And then they have some brown elastic, and then I have my little handmade plate there as well, and they're all covered in this absolutely stunning upholstery fabric, and I don't know if it's picking it up, but it's like gold thread, so it does like reflect against the light. And again, these are completely covered, the edges are completely covered with that gorgeous trim. I'm really addicted to this stuff right now. So I'm just going to pop, I'm not going to go through the elastic and things like that, but I'm just going to pop just to kind of give you a rough idea of how it would look inside a Traveller's Notebook. So again, these will be for sale in my Etsy by the time this video goes up, but I'm just gonna, just to kind of give you a visual of how chunky it looks and how luscious it looks with all the lace and everything. Oh, I love it. I'm so happy. These are so addictive. I'm definitely going to be making more. I don't think I'll be making as much next time. I did think that because I'm so used to making larger journals that I should make a few of them. And I think I made too many. But while I've got you here, I'm also going to let you know that I have a discount code going up with these journals. So I will put the discount code on the screen, but I'm not going to put it in the description box because I want only you guys to get it. So it will be Subby20, and I'll just put it somewhere on the screen. And it will be going on until the 16th, so a full week as of today. You will get 20% off these journals and the A5 sized journals as well. So that's my little Christmas present to you guys. I will be having a giveaway soon, but I won't be able to do it before Christmas, so I thought that this could be my little Christmas present to you guys. So yeah, Subby20, and it will be active as of now until the 16th, and only you guys are getting it. So I'm not putting it anywhere else. I'm not putting it in the description. I'm not putting it up on Facebook or anything like that. Oh, it's only for you guys. All right, so I'm going to go grab the A5 journals and we'll get into those. So here are the A5 journals, and as you can see, they're a little bit bigger than the Traveller's Notebooks. So if I can get this in camera for you guys. No, I can't. But these measure 8 3/4 by 5.5. And again, they all come with their own closure, and they are all slightly different on the fronts. And the closure is exactly the same, so you can take it off and remove it and use it in your next journal after you're finished with this one. Or you can leave it on and keep it as part of this journal. So I'm going to go through one in detail, and then I will go through the other two quickly, just like before. So these journals do have everything that the smaller journals have, but they also have a few other bits. So these do have 112 plus pages, and that's the snippet roll closure, and again full of vintage laces and linens, and I love this one. And some appliques and beads and vintage buttons, and again, oh, a little pearl at the bottom. So this one is the gold one. These will go up and they will be listed as gold, cream and white, and it's the same for the 3 Traveller's Notebooks, as one is actually spoken for, which is this one. So this one's spoken for already, but the other 3 will go up as gold, cream and white, and the same for these. So going in, as you can see, we have a full page side pocket, on the larger ones. And again, I have that gorgeous cross stitch image as the sort of focal point. And then I've collaged around it with other laces and appliques and a little rose button type thing. I've got a vintage button down the bottom. And the same thing inside the pocket, a little notebook and my little poem to the book owner. This will be in all my journals from now on. So that beautiful vintage book page. Again, that double pocket with a slightly larger, this isn't washi tape this time, this is just actual, like a little note card. And they have the same amount of tabs. This is the first thing that's different in them. So it's got a removable bulb pin, clasp type thing, and then I've collaged here with some, this is a bit of the antique piano roll. This is the bit that's got like the title and things like that on it. And then I've got some typewriter paper and some faux vintage paper and cheesecloth and lace and all those luscious things. And that's just there as a decoration. I'd actually pinned them together to hold them in place to see how I liked it, and then I decided I loved the pin as well. So I kept it on there. And then inside here we have a notebook, a little matchbook notebook, and I've just collaged on the front, and this one says dream, and it's got a cute little image. I think this is a Mrs. Coggs image, and I just tucked it in upside down because of the flower at the top there. Again, all the stamping and lusciousness throughout. Oops, that was the right way up. Again, the same things in here, but this one has another lace tracing paper tag tucked in there as well. And again here, and again that beautiful gold edged page. I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, but you might be able to kind of see it. There we go. And it's just gorgeous. I love it. And you can feel the typewriters embossed it as it's been typing. It feels amazing. Some more vintage buttons on a wee ruffle. And this is some vintage paper as well. Another one of our little cameos. All the cameos are slightly different. Some more tracing paper for that awesome crinkle factor. I love this notebook paper. It's all different throughout. Every page is different. And then I've added the notebook to here, and again it's a slightly different, a larger image that I've stamped onto this one, and again that could be used as a pocket. And then that flips out. And I've just added these with some fabric on one side and washi tape on the other. And then underneath the flips on this one, I've added it to vintage music paper. So what I've done is I've put in this beautiful lined paper. And again, all of the images here are different. Embroidered, that's the word I was looking for. All of the embroidered images are different. So another little tab there. And then here's another thing that's different in this. So I've got a pocket here, and I've put these tickets, so these flip down for more journaling space, and that's just stamped images. And then here is the washi tape journal card here. And then this flips up for more journaling space, and I've just collaged different laces, vintage laces and whatnot on there. And again, they will all be slightly different throughout the journals, but they've got the same things, just in their own little style basically. This pocket is exactly the same. Again, I've collaged vintage wallpaper and some vintage textiles and things like that throughout it as well. Some more piano paper. Here I have a little folio type thing, and I've got a little bead dangle on that, and this opens up and you have a pocket on either side. So I've got a fabric covered postcard and just a little tag type thing on that side. And then here I have a little envelope. I can't remember if I actually put anything in it. I did. I put some little tickets and a bulb pen and just little random items in there for you to play with. And then this is a vintage diary type thing from an Edith Holden diary. It is so cute and so tiny. So I thought I'd pop a page in there. And that tucks in behind there. And then this paper clip comes off, obviously. And this flips out for more journaling space. And I've got some beautiful cream coloured lined paper in there. And then some more stamping, another tab there. Your little lace pocket with your vintage postcard. All the postcards are blank on the back for journaling. Excuse me. And then the centre, again, they have their little bookmark, this little love heart with a sort of pale pink glass bead at the top. And again, they have the prescription and the vintage envelope in the centre as well. And then they have a larger note card, which is sideways rather than lengthwise. And the little Edith Holden journal cards are slightly bigger as well. So that's the postcard flip. And all of the postcards are different. Another tab here. And then here I've done another sort of flip page. This flips all the way down for plenty of journaling space, and it is also a pocket. And in here I've just collaged a large tag and lined paper on the back, and then I've got these beautiful laced nerms, and this is silk trim at the top as well. And I've got another little flip here, just flips out for extra journaling space. I wanted to add as much journaling space as possible. So again, we have our little floating pocket and our little lady collage with her wax seal. And then we have another collage here, and this flips all the way out again for more journaling space. I can get that in. And back there is where I've tucked the lace note card. Got our little cabinet cards, and again our collaged journal card with the vintage fabrics. And then this flips out, and again that's that gold page. Don't know what goes on with my voice when I'm talking. So another button card with some vintage buttons. I love this one. The last tab doesn't have a button on the larger ones. I wanted the smaller ones to have something that the bigger ones didn't, so they have their vintage button and the larger ones don't. And then another little, well not little, another envelope here. I love how these feel. They just feel amazing. And again, it's all the same stuff that's tucked in there, and that flips out. And another bead dangle right there with her little butterfly. And again, I embroidered these myself. And then the final pocket at the back with your distressed printout and your embossed journaling card. And that's the back. so that's my collection, my last collection for 2020 probably. I'm already starting to work on some more Traveller's notebooks, not as many this time. And I do have some tutorials coming up of me working inside them, so definitely keep an eye out for those. But thank you very much for watching, and like I said, these will be up for sale. There'll be 3 Traveller's notebooks and 3 of the larger sized journals, and there will also be 3 of the Traveller's notebook folders, covers, style things. So don't forget your subby code, subby20, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!